Welcome to Vacation Rental Mastery, where your host, Karan Narang, guides you through harnessing vacation rental investments. Whether you're new to vacation rentals or expanding your portfolio, this podcast fuels your path to freedom. Join us in this movement to transform your life. Ready for change and legacy building? You're in the right place. Let's embark on this freedom journey and master vacation rental investing together.
Hey, Kory, welcome to this podcast. Thank you very much for coming here, joining us on this call, and engaging with this topic. I really appreciate you coming on. Can you start with giving us a little background about yourself?
Yeah, for sure. And I just want to say thanks as well for having me on and having the opportunity to sit around and talk short-term rentals. It's one of my passions, and I love talking about it and strategizing about it. So I'm excited to kind of dive in. So I appreciate it. But so my name's Kory. I'm out of actually Boise, Idaho. And I am a real estate agent out here. We have a small team that we work with a ton of people who are investors. It's one of our kind of specialties is working with investors. So just love kind of helping investors kind of dive in. With that, this market's kind of specific to long-term and short-term rentals. So we do help quite a few clients pick up some short-term rentals here locally. And then also I have currently 2 short-term rentals, one in the Smokies and one here locally as well. Recently had one in Florida, just sold it a couple months ago at a nice little profit, and kind of looking to figure out what market I head into next. So that's me, my background.
Awesome. So Kory, first of all, thank you for letting us know you're a realtor. We often have people who are looking for short-term rentals. So when we publish this podcast, we'll put in your link in the show notes or somewhere
Awesome.
they can reach out to you, okay? Secondly, what's very interesting, you said you have one in your local market, but then you've got one in the Smokies and you had one in Florida. So help me understand what happened to the one in Florida. Was it a choice? Why did you decide to sell that?
Yeah, so we were looking to invest kind of in the Pensacola market. We did kind of like a burr flip down there that worked out okay. I had and my agent down there brought me a new construction. They're like, hey, they're building this in Perdido Key, which is kind of close to the coast there. Really attractive price point, like in the mid 200s. It was a couple years ago, and new construction, small, no restrictions. So I was like, hey, let's go for it. So we bought it. It was doing pretty good. My nightly rates in the summer weren't as high as I was hoping for, and kind of got just an unsolicited offer for about $100,000 more than I paid for it. So I figured, what the heck, take it and reallocate the funds somewhere. And being from Idaho, it's actually really hard to get to Pensacola. Like, plane tickets are very expensive. So at first I was like, oh, it'd be fun to go to Florida. But after I realized it's going to cost me $600 each ticket, it gets pricey for my family. So that's why we sold it.
Okay, so fair to say that you didn't sell it because it wasn't doing well. You sold it because you were able to capitalize on the gain and the increase in the value, and you're now looking for another investment to replace it with. So would you ever consider investing in a long-term or a multifamily instead? Is there anything that would make you say, hey, you know what, I'm done with that. I'm not doing short-term rental. I want to go invest in something alternate, or you want to stay with short-term rentals?
No, so I have some long-term rentals just in my local market, but really the thing I love about short-term rentals, and hopefully you agree, but you can buy in markets that long-term rentals don't really work for. So that's one of the things I love it. I've never really been attracted to buying the long-term rentals that are really cheap, that cash flow real well, because I just feel like I'm buying in a market that's not going to appreciate, that tends to have a lot of problems in general, whether it be older houses with capital expenditures or whatnot. So one thing I love about short-term rentals is you can buy in a market that you really like, whether it be, the West Coast, my local market here in Boise, where if I were to buy it, put 20% down, a long-term renter, it wouldn't cash flow. But I can buy that same property, fix it up, make it a short-term rental, and I still am getting $500, $1,000 a month cash flow. I'm able to own an asset in a really good part of town that I want to own it in. So it kind of expands your options on what you can buy, and you can really then buy in markets you love, and
Yeah.
you're bullish on the long-term outlook on that market that you wouldn't be able to do with long-term. So that's why I love short-term.
Awesome. That's amazing. So a really good topic, right? Cash
Yeah.
flow allows you to go in and secure the asset that you're really passionate about. That's what it all comes down to, right?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
all agree that a property that does not cash flow positive is not an asset, it's a liability. Pretty
Exactly.
straightforward. Listen, if it's picking your pocket each month, get rid of it, right?
Yeah.
On the other hand, if you're able to cash flow a property because you're able to short term rent it out, that's absolutely phenomenal. Now, you said you're a realtor, right?
Mhm.
How long
Yeah.
have you been a realtor?
Yeah. So just over 5 years. Kind of
And
maybe.
sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I made a pivot from a park ranger. So I was a park ranger for about 8 years.
Wow.
Just kind of an interesting thing about me, and kind of pivoted into real estate, and it's been fun. I don't regret it one bit.
So, park ranger to realtor to short-term
Yeah.
rental owner and beyond, right?
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah, definitely.
absolutely amazing. So why did you decide you wanted to pivot and get into and become a realtor? Actually, a lot of people sitting on the fence trying to figure out, what the hell am I going to do next? Why
Yeah.
did you do this?
Yeah. So, I mean, I we moved from California to Idaho. So I loved being a park ranger. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was a ton of fun, but park rangers in Idaho don't get paid quite as well as they do in California. So,
Okay.
in order to better support my family and everything like that, I'd been around real estate investing for most of my life, just with my parents, and decided to dive in and do it myself, and kind of just hit the ground running. And it's been a fantastic pivot. I've loved every minute of it. Love the investing aspect of it as well. And so basically my vertical income, kind of going off that co-abundance way. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
vertical
yeah.
income is all the real estate sales, and I take as much of that as I can and invest it in some sort of rental and real estate, and make that my horizontal income. So it's been good.
So what brought you to Idaho? Just curious.
Yeah. No, I love that you asked that. So we actually had an opportunity to come out here and help plant a church. So
Oh,
Compass
wow.
Bible Church, here in the Treasure Valley, Boise area. So we had a cool opportunity to come out and help plant the church. And so that was our reason for moving, and everything else kind of just fell into place. So it's been a lot of fun.
Did you know what your plan was with real estate when you moved here? Did you plan that kind of strategically and say, listen, I'm going to go there for this church, but I'm going to also do something else? Because again, let's face it, if you're there for the church, I'm assuming that either didn't pay or didn't pay too well, right?
Yeah.
It's more
Yeah.
of you're giving back to the community, right? So what was that planned? Was this whole move and the strategy planned?
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't work for the church. We just serve a bunch, so we don't get any money from that. And really, I was just looking for something different. I thought about starting up my own business, which, ultimately real estate still is, but some other business, acquiring a business maybe, and running that. And really, nothing was falling in place, nothing that I was really excited about. And so I was like, I'm like the guy that I feel like I could pretty much do anything. I just have to put all my time, energy, and effort into it. So it's like, hey, like, let's put all my time, energy, and effort in real estate, and just go for it. And so kind of burned the ships in a way, and moved out here and just hit the ground running, and it's been real good. It's been
That's
a lot of fun.
awesome. That's awesome. I moved from New Jersey myself 6 years ago. Okay. It's
Oh,
been
cool.
absolutely spectacular. Never look back. It's been the best move of our life. It has been complete game changer for us. So yeah, kudos to you, man. I mean, a servitude approach to
Hmm.
moving to a different place entirely, uprooting your family, uprooting what you're doing, moving to a new place, starting fresh. And you know what? Good things come to those who dare, right? That's what it's
Yeah,
all
for
about.
sure.
You made that move. You were able to do it and come out and do this. It's absolutely amazing. So
Yeah.
Kory, tell me, where do you go from here? What's your plan? What are you thinking of? What's next?
Yeah. So, like I said, in the last couple of years, we started building a real estate team. So just building that out. I had even someone this week talk about hey, would you want to do some property management for some of my investments? So considering kind of dipping my toes into that, I currently manage my short-term rentals. Like I manage the one in Tennessee, no problem. I think the managing from a distance is way, way easier than people think. It's like with all the systems and everything, the automation that we're able to do, it's so easy. Like the Florida one, I never even saw. That house was built for me. We got it all set up. It was running for about a year and a half, and we sold it. I never went to that house one time. I'd never even been there in person. So like, there's so many things that you can do that make it easy. So that's kind of been one thing people have been encouraging me, like, hey, you should really kind of do some co-hosting or maybe start a property management, something like that, where I can kind of just diversify and start another company around it.
So what's holding you back?
I don't know. I was yeah, really, I just need to dive in and go for it.
So Kory, let me tell you a little bit about myself. Okay.
Okay.
We started in short-term rentals about 3.5 years ago. Moved down to Texas 6 years ago. Started in short-term rentals 3.5 years ago. Scaled really quick. Grew our business really quick. But the one thing we did, which it sounds like you've done, right, is we implemented these processes and systems that allowed us to manage these properties anywhere in the country, possibly the world, regardless of where we are, right? Allowing those systems and processes to mature over the last 3 years gave us the ability to scale. We now have 20 additional properties we manage or co-host for others.
Awesome.
Because we already had the portfolio and the system and the properties we're already managing and our own properties, right? We already had everything in place. We were easily able to bring on these properties, roll them into our management, and take it on. So what's stopping you, Kory?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't have a good excuse. One reason why I wanted to hop on here, so you could kind of spur me on and kick me in the butt and make me do it.
This is exactly what it is. You've overcome the first biggest hurdle in growing your short-term rental business, and that is the limiting belief that you can't manage at a distance.
Yeah.
Today, we're managing properties in California, Pennsylvania, Utah, right?
Okay.
I live in Dallas, and my VAs are in the Philippines. We're able to do this. This can be done. So if you're thinking you can't, now there's people out there, believe me, I speak to people every single day about short-term rentals, and there's still people just saying, hey, I want to buy something, close to home. And I'm like, no, you do not want to buy something close to home, because that's when you go there every time to make sure the driveway is shoveled or the light bulbs are screwed on the right way. And whatever, just you're finding every reason possible to go hug your property. No, you don't need that, right? So you've overcome that first hurdle, or that mindset limiting belief that you need to be close to the property. So congratulations on that. And really, that's all you need to actually take this and take it to the next level, right? So congratulations on that.
Well, it's I was gonna say real quick, it's so funny you say that, because when we get a message, right, that comes in, I don't have any VAs or anything like that. That's kind of in the future, but when you get a message that comes in, you're like, oh man, I hope this isn't my local one, because I don't want to have to go deal with it. I hope it's like in one of the other ones, so all I got to do is make a phone call or text and they deal with it, So it's almost funny to think like you're hoping it's not the one local, because then you have to be the one going over there.
100%. I used to have multiple local ones here, and I sold them to buy properties further off that were bigger. Yes, I upgraded into different properties, but I sold off the local ones because they were more painful than it needed to be. And I was like, okay, I only have one left now that is kind of local, like it's 5 minutes from here, from where I live. But that's because it's in a prime location that I know is only going up in value significantly, right?
Yeah.
So that's the only reason I have it. It's on half an acre, which is really hard. No HOA, nothing. So you know what? I love it. I'm going to keep it, right?
Yeah.
The long-term value of that property is way beyond what I can sell it for today. So I'm just holding on to it. But other than that, every property I own is like at least 3 hours away.
Yeah.
And so that limiting belief is non-existent. People need to get rid of that yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Now, Kory, let me ask you this. If you said there's one issue you're dealing with today, there's one thing that, is bothering you, is holding you back, is helping you, is not letting you move forward with either growing your own portfolio or selling more real estate or managing properties at a distance or something else.
Yeah.
What's that one thing we can attack?
Yeah. I mean, one big thing, especially with my own portfolio, would be just getting the capital. I'd love to hear if you have any experience partnering with people who maybe bring the down payment and allow you to manage it, something like that. I think that's the biggest thing, right? Is just having the capital, keep growing the portfolio, especially so a lot of investors were able to add to their portfolio when the market was going up because you can do some sort of cash out refi, take a
Yeah.
HELOC, whatever it may be. When the market's kind of flatter, like it has been the last year or two, it makes it a little more challenging to have that additional capital needed to continue to purchase more and more properties. So I'd love to hear if how you've overcome that to continue growing.
Yeah, so what's been amazing is, we have all but deployed all our available capital. And what I've done is, as of December 31st, I quit my W-2.
Congrats.
So thank you. And it's been glorious. I'm celebrating every single day. It's been a month. I feel like it's, the celebration isn't over yet, right? So it's absolutely spectacular.
That's awesome.
I get to wake up in the morning and decide who I want to talk to or what I want to do, man. Listen, that's the biggest thing, the freedom of time, right? More important
Definitely.
than financial freedom, right? So um, I have been in conversations with people. So I have some wildly successful properties, and people have been coming to me and saying, how do we partner with you? We don't have the bandwidth to do the stuff. And I like the bigger properties, right?
Mhm.
Right now, I'm looking at properties that are, somewhere in the $2 to $3 million mark, big properties
Nice.
that will do anywhere between 5 to 700,000 a year, maybe more in revenue,
Awesome.
top line gross revenue. I already have one property like that that is absolutely spectacular, blows every property out of the ballpark. I mean, it's just completely wild. And I'm looking for more properties like that. And I've had several people come to me and say, we want to do what you're doing, except we don't have the time or the bandwidth or the creativity to make that happen. So they're
Mhm.
wanting to fund the deals.
Okay.
I'm not yet in a place to do that, but in the second half of this year, sometime in the July timeframe, we're going to be launching a joint venture program that'll basically be joint venturing with other investors to come in.
Mhm.
Typically will be small group, no more than 3 to 4 investors per deal. So still sizable deals. We're not doing syndications with 100 people or
Yeah.
50 people. We're going to do small joint venture deals. So typically it'll be the joint venture program is there for us to go acquire the property together. They bring the capital, we go buy this property, we will help them get those returns they're looking for, right? Because
Yeah.
we've developed some unique models in terms of launching and running these properties. We do a lot of like weddings at this property, and it's been
Mhm.
absolutely spectacular. It's a large property on good acreage. We sleep 26 people, so kind of really nice property, like a destination. I mean,
Mhm.
we just had a booking last night for almost 20,000 for 4 nights.
That's awesome.
So that's the kind of properties we want to go for. Those are the kind of properties that people want to invest with us now, right?
Mhm.
I've been doing this for the last 4 years, and I've had some crazy stuff, right, with the properties and everything. That property I'm talking about did 450,000 last year. This year it'll do 550 plus. We're already booked. Our average nightly rate at that property is over $3,000,
That's crazy.
right? So that's the kind of property people want to invest and get returns in.
Mhm.
So if you want to truly build these partnerships, you need to think about what's that additional value proposition you're adding on top of it. If it's just a short-term rental, you and I both agree that most people can go buy a short-term rental and do something with it.
Yeah.
What are you doing that is something a little different, something a little special that people are going to say, yeah, you know what? I want to do what he's doing.
Yeah.
So that's what I'd approach it as, especially if you're looking to raise capital from outside to do this. That's the approach I would take. So
Yeah.
think
I like
think
that.
about the added value proposition.
Yeah, because then you're raising funds for a specific large property. Are you
Yes.
identifying?
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I know you're doing this in the future, but is your plan to identify the property and then show the property, hey, this is a property we want to buy? Or is it just like, hey, we're going to buy a property in this $3 to $5 million. Can you commit some funds to that type of thing? This is what it's going to be similar to.
So my approach I'm going to take specifically is I'm actually going to go through, have people apply for the joint venture program.
Okay.
And we're going to identify, a set of buyers or set of partners who could qualify to join this. And what I mean by that is, we want someone who can, who can invest in these deals and not have to worry about, $10,000, $20,000 because we're doing renovations and all that stuff. They need to have the ability, one, to invest larger sums of money. So they need to be accredited. Two, they need to be in a position where if it takes us 6 months to rehab the property, they're not freaking out.
Yeah.
So we're going to select and say, okay, you know what? These 6 people are good for this. Then we're going to bring specific deals to those properties, to those people, fully underwritten. Hey, here's the property. Here's the market value. Here's what our purchase price is going to be. This is a projected return. This is what we know it's going to do. Are you in or are you out?
Yeah.
So that's the approach I'm going to take with this, because sometimes you get into partnerships, joint venture or otherwise, where you've got 1 or 2 partners who don't have the ability to withstand a little bit of wind, and then you have a problem, right?
Yeah.
We want to make sure these partners are financially sound to a point where, hey, who knows? This is short-term rental. This is risky, If someone said there's no risk, they're lying to you.
Yeah.
There is risk. It is short-term rentals. There's a possibility that things are slow. People need to be able to withstand that. I don't need one partner later on coming in and saying, hey, I need my money back because of this, and now we're forced to do something we wouldn't normally do, right?
Yeah.
So that's why we're going to go through this as more as an application process and shortlisting process. But hey, again, I always tell people, you only invest in me if you believe in me. Now, fortunately for me, I have a very good network of people who've seen what I've done over the last few years, people who are willing to work with me to be successful as well. Because I strongly believe that there is an opportunity where if 8 to 10 people come together, we could take down 10 of these properties next year, right?
Yeah.
It's not a one-man show. Real estate is a good thing, but if you're looking to scale, you have to grow beyond the individual person. This is a team sport, right? We need to play this together as a team to really exponentially grow our capabilities, and that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. Yeah, love it. I'm excited to see you on that journey for sure.
Yeah, so you'll see a lot of things happening in the next 6 months or so. You'll see things coming out, and we'll be launching some of that stuff.
Love it. That's cool.
Yeah, thank you. And so Kory, tell me anything else that you have specifically with your properties that we can deal with the Smokies one, or with the one in Boise? Anything that we can go through and help you out?
No, I mean, I guess maybe with the co-hosting, how did you find your first couple people? Or were there people you knew, people you didn't know? Any wisdom on that would always be appreciated too.
So my first couple of properties that I co-hosted, actually, they found me. I've been a coach for short-term rentals for the last 4 years, 3.5 to 4 years. Okay. So I've helped people purchase these properties and go out there, help them set up the systems and the processes, the same I'm using, right? So there's no point in doing something different. I've helped them set this out. And as they grow their businesses, not everyone is fully committed to short-term rentals like you or me, right? There's people out there who are still doing multifamily, commercial space, warehouses, storage space, all kinds of stuff. And some people live and die by this principle of diversification. So they don't want to put all their eggs in the short-term rental basket. They've, in the last couple of years, so I coached them, let's say a couple of years ago, they've acquired 2 or 3 more properties, and now they realize, hey, this is still a lot of work, right?
Yeah.
It's not completely hands-off, which I never tell them it is, but they've gotten to a point in their portfolio where it's taking up a lot of their time, and they're looking to diversify and buy other assets. So they come back to me and say, hey, you helped us buy this property. You helped us set up the systems and the processes. You know this. Can you please help us manage? This is exactly what happened for the first couple of properties, and we were off to the races. And then, luckily through my network of people I've coached in the last 4 years, when I was quitting my W-2 job, I let them know, and the word spread, and they said, "Oh, Karan's got bandwidth. Let's give him more." And they, all of a sudden, we found ourselves, we're now managing 20 properties because they basically said, take them. And multiple property owners have 2 or 3 properties. The fact that we have the systems and processes required to truly manage anywhere in the country, you're like, okay, I have one here, or I put an offer in a different location, completely at other ends of the country. I have a client who's got a property in Pennsylvania, and she's got a property in California, and now she's launching a property, I think in the next week, in Lake Tahoe, right?
Oh, okay.
I'm like, okay, you're all over the place. And she's like, yeah, now I'm, my ability to go acquire a good deal and put it in service has been expanded because I have you as my team helping get the stuff launched, right?
Yeah.
So that's how it's grown for me. I've never once marketed outward on Facebook or other places where, hey, look, this is what I'm doing, let's sign up. I will in the future, because so far it's all been word of mouth. 20 properties, it's been word of mouth, and we're continuously adding more. But it's all about the network. It's all about the people you know and who you're interacting with and what they see in you. If they trust you, if they see that you're doing what you're doing, then it is certainly a possibility.
Yeah. And then you have VAs running mostly.
Correct. Yeah. I have 5 VAs at this point, and they're a core part of our team. And we have other extended teams that allow us to do our things. For example, I have a team in Gulf Shores, right? In Gulf Shores, the team will help me, obviously, with the day-to-day turns and all that stuff. But if I have to do a full rehab, like a gut job, I have a contractor, I have a project manager, I've got all that stuff there. So if I need to spin up a new property in Gulf Shores tomorrow, probably take me 30 days to do all of it, right? Yeah. So I've got these extended teams that I still truly treat as part of my own team, right? Mm-hmm. And they love it. They feel like they belong to an organization, they belong to a team. And that's a big deal, because all of these guys are usually running around by themselves trying to figure out life. And they're like, okay, we belong to this team. This is great. Yeah. So that's how we try to do things.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very good.
And again, if you ever say, hey, you know what, I want to go all in on this property management thing, because it's great for cash flow, by the way, right?
Yeah.
You bring on 20, 30, 40 properties in your portfolio, cash flow is great. You can go buy your own real estate after that, right? So it solves your cash flow problem from an investment perspective. So definitely, if you do think you want to jump right into that, I'm happy to help you out. Just reach out. I will give you all the information I can. And, I want to see you succeed, and it'll be awesome, man. I mean, I think you have the like I said, you've gotten over the big hurdle of the mindset. Everything else is easy, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because I help a lot of clients who want to invest here in Idaho get over that mindset. Maybe they don't live here, maybe they live out of state. They're like, hey, we want to invest in Idaho. And like, I help them get over that hurdle. Like, hey, it's not that hard to do it.
Are you right on the other side of Wyoming?
No, we're on the western, like southwest.
Oh, okay.
So
all right.
We're close to Oregon, kind of.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
No, that's amazing. So let me know if there's anything else I can do. I will absolutely reach out to you, and I'll support you in any which way you want. Obviously, if I find anyone looking for a realtor in the area, I'd be happy to refer them over to you, and do what I can to help you out.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. And thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kory.
Thank you for joining us on Vacation Rental Mastery. Don't forget to subscribe and tune in for our next episode, where the journey to financial freedom and lifestyle flexibility continues. Here's to your success in the exciting world of vacation rentals.